Man, you gotta understand where this guy came from to really get the whole picture. It's not some Hollywood story, even though it feels like one. Conor McGregor wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He came from Crumlin, a tough part of Dublin, Ireland. This wasn't a place where kids were dreaming of becoming multi-millionaire global superstars. It's a place built on grit, on hard work, on just getting by. He was a regular kid, apprenticing as a plumber. Imagine that. The guy who would one day be dripping in gold and custom suits was once fixing leaky pipes, probably dreaming of something more, something bigger, something wild. He saw a different path, a primal path. The thing about dreams, especially the crazy ones, is that they don't make sense to anyone but you. When Conor started talking about becoming the UFC champion, people probably looked at him like he had 3 heads. So he makes this choice. He's all in on fighting. But a dream without insane, obsessive work is just a hallucination. Conor understood this on a primal level. He dedicated himself completely to the craft. He started training under John Kavanagh at Straight Blast Gym, Ireland, a place that would become legendary. Kavanagh is a brilliant mind in the sport, and he saw the raw, untamed potential in Conor. They didn't just train techniques, they explored movement. Conor became a student of the game in a way few others are. He wasn't just learning how to fight, he was learning how to move his body in new, unpredictable ways. The dedication was just on another level. We're talking about a guy who lived and breathed martial arts 24/7. It wasn't a job, it was his entire existence. Every meal, every hour of sleep, every single training session was meticulously planned to build a better fighting machine. He kept sharpening his tools, especially that left hand. That thing became like a laser-guided missile. This relentless work ethic built not just his skills, but his unshakable self-belief. When you put in that much work, you don't just hope you'll win, you know you will. Then comes the call. The UFC. This is the moment every fighter dreams of. His debut was in 2013 against Marcus Brimage. People knew he had some hype from his 2 belts in Cage Warriors, but nobody was truly ready for what was about to happen. He walks out there, and there's just an energy, an aura around him. He's not nervous, he looks like he owns the place. And then the fight starts. He was just a different animal. His movement was fluid, his pressure was immense, and his striking was so precise, so clean. He dismantled Brimage in just over a minute. It was a stunning performance. After the fight, he gets on the microphone. This is where the legend really starts. He drops that iconic line, "Dana 60 G's, baby." The charisma was just off the charts. It was a star-making moment. This wasn't just another talented fighter. This was a personality, a showman. From that first fight, he laid out his mission statement. He famously said, "We're not here to take part, we're here to take over." And man, was he serious. He saw the entire landscape of the UFC and decided he was going to be the king. He saw the money, the titles, the fame, and he mapped out a path to get it all. It was a prophecy he was writing in real time, with his fists and with his words. The UFC had a new force of nature on its hands, and the sport would never be the same again. Conor McGregor didn't just beat his opponents physically, he dismantled them mentally before they ever stepped into the cage. His press conferences were, honestly, must-see TV. He mastered the art of psychological warfare. Look at the build-up to the Jose Aldo fight. Aldo was the pound-for-pound king, the only featherweight champion the UFC had ever known, undefeated for a decade. Conor showed him zero respect. He taunted him, he mocked him, he even snatched his belt at a press conference. He took Aldo on a world tour and mentally tortured him every step of the way. People thought it was just arrogance, but it was a calculated strategy. He was creating a narrative, building the fight into a global event, and breaking down a legend piece by piece. He created the Notorious persona, this larger-than-life character who was all about sharp suits, expensive watches, and unapologetic confidence. People were drawn to it. You either loved him or you hated him, but you absolutely had to watch him. He understood that fighting is entertainment. The build-up, the story, the drama, that's what sells pay-per-views. And the thing is, his talk was always backed up by his performance. He created these incredible expectations and then exceeded them. His confidence wasn't a mask, it was a weapon. The culmination of all that talk and all that work came at UFC 194 against Jose Aldo. The fight that had been built up for a year, the unstoppable force meeting the immovable object. And it was over in 13 seconds. He threw one perfect left hand and a decade of dominance was erased. It was one of the most shocking and iconic moments in sports history. That single punch cemented his legacy and made him the undisputed featherweight champion of the world. But he wasn't satisfied. One belt wasn't enough. He got his chance against Eddie Alvarez at UFC 205, the first ever UFC event at Madison Square Garden in New York City. The stage couldn't have been bigger, and once again Conor put on a masterclass. It wasn't even competitive. He was so calm, so precise, so in control. He knocked him out in the second round to become the champ. That image of him with a belt on each shoulder is one of the most enduring in MMA history. He had done it. The kid from Crumlin on welfare was now the king of the fighting world's most famous arena. He had achieved immortality. He brought millions of new eyes to the sport. He transcended MMA and became a global cultural icon. People who had never watched a fight in their lives were tuning in to see what Conor McGregor would do next. His impact is undeniable. He changed the game. He showed fighters how to build their own brand, how to leverage their personality, and how to earn life-changing money. The story of Conor McGregor is a testament to the power of vision, hard work, and the sheer force of will. It's a story about a guy who saw a crown, told everyone he was coming for it, and then walked through fire to take it.